Fire from Serb positions rocks Bihac in northwest Bosnia. Ironically, the Muslim enclave had been designated a safe area by the United Nations. But with Bihac in flames and the civilian population of 70,000 under siege, the town has become a symbol of the West's impotence to find a solution to the Bosnian conflict. As the Serb gunners moved nearer, raining shells on apartment blocks, civilians made a last desperate attempt to escape. Latest reports say a shell was landing on the town every 6 seconds. If it falls, Greater Serbia, linking radicals in Croatia, Bosnia and Serbia, becomes a real possibility. Tanks of the Bosnia Serb army moved swiftly onwards, encountering only token resistance from the beleaguered government 5th Corps defending the enclave. The advance was relentless, and the Western Allies have been powerless to stop it. UN commanders have admitted the Serbs could take the area at any time. The climate was different on November the 21st, when bombs were loaded onto 39 Allied planes. Their destination was the important Serb airbase at Udbina. It was the biggest airstrike in the history of NATO. The raid was meant to stop rebel Serbs in Croatia from joining their Bosnian colleagues in the attack on Bihac. Cockpit video pictures appeared to show an effective strike. Runways were reported damaged and anti-aircraft batteries destroyed as missiles and cluster bombs were dropped from above 10,000 feet to avoid anti-aircraft fire. But at a UN request, Serb warplanes were left alone. The move certainly upped the stakes in an already tense situation. Bosnian Serb leader Radovan Karadzic wasted no time in condemning the raid.
This is obvious that this is a criminal act of a criminal regional organization called NATO. We are considering to retaliate. We will choose the time and objectives, and we will certainly take care that it be very painful for the NATO nations. I think this is the end of the politics, the end of the international law, and the end of the NATO organization. Maybe the NATO should be disbanded immediately.
In Washington, Secretary of State Warren Christopher supported the airstrike and said the United States wanted an exclusion zone against heavy weapons in Bihac. Russian Foreign Minister Andrei Kozyrev sounded a note of dissent. He urged NATO not to step up the airstrikes and said he expected allies to attack only at the request of UN forces. 2 Harrier jets land safely on the aircraft carrier HMS Invincible. They were lucky to make it back after surface-to-air missiles were fired between them over Serb-held northern Bosnia. One of the pilots said it had been a very close shave. Bosnian Prime Minister Haris Silagic heard the news of the Serb advance from local radio.
The Serb aggressive forces coming from Croatia across the border are now attacking by infantry, artillery and tank attacks civilian targets in Bihac.
Tension has also been rising in Sarajevo. Sniper shots ring out as passengers cower in their seats. 3 women were wounded in the Serb attack, and a 60-year-old man was killed. Those who survived were in a state of shock. One elderly victim was rushed into surgery. While the enclave in Bihac is surrounded, the Serb army has also stepped up its sniper and artillery attacks on Sarajevo. The UN is constantly under fire. People run for cover from sniper fire, and incendiary shells torch ancient buildings. The Bosnian Prime Minister was furious about the role of the United Nations leaders in Bihac.
I will talk to General Rose here right now. Mr. Akashi is responsible for the death of 70,000 people in Bihac right now. There is no turning the key on the part of the United Nations. And it's time to tell the truth. They do not want to do it.
The UN commander in Bosnia left the building without commenting to the waiting press after the Bosnian Prime Minister had already stormed out.
Of the Security Council
At the United Nations, the Security Council demanded
the
an
Security
immediate
Council
ceasefire and a
expresses
withdrawal
its full
from
support
Bihac,
for the
but the
continued
statement
efforts by
didn't
the
threaten the
United
use of
Nations
force against
personnel
the Serbs.
to achieve a ceasefire in the Bihac area.
If the Security Council
Bosnia's UN ambassador dismissed the effort and called for a safe haven for the civilian population.
We then would urge the Security Council to facilitate safe passage for the entire civilian population of the safe area of Bihac to a safer area within the Bihac region.
Meanwhile, Serb special forces have the town in their sights. These pictures from Serb television show palls of smoke hanging over the suburb of Otaka after an alleged NATO airstrike. The Serb soldiers fire anti-aircraft guns. For the moment, they seem to be in the position of being able to take Bihac whenever they please. They have the whole area surrounded. Contingents of UN troops are among the 120,000 people trapped in the enclave. The Chief of Staff of the Bosnian Serb army looks down on the beleaguered town as tanks continue the bombardment. An advanced party of Serb special forces move into Sokolac on the southern outskirts. They've taken hundreds of prisoners. The troops bayoneted the Bosnian government shield on a municipal building. And this young Muslim prisoner was forced to wear a fez. Some Serbs refer contemptuously to Bosnian Muslims as Turks. The siege is more than just another battle in a brutally intractable war. It's revealed rifts between the Allies and the impotence of the UN. It'll almost certainly prove a valuable and decisive Serbian bargaining tool.